And welcome everybody to another episode of Top Rope Talk. I am the sniper, Denzel Snipes. This is the sports agent himself, Sean Russey, and we'd like to welcome you all to another episode. We're going to get this knocked out the way and have you right over to Monday Night Raw here in just a few. So, good news. The website is up. The website is finished and it is up. Sideline-se.com. Sideline-se.com. It's our brand new website. Very well put together. Shout out to our brother James Tatum for putting everything together. You can see all articles that we've topped up. You can also check in, and there's of course bios about the team and what we're about. If you wish to work with us, there's a form that you can fill out and let us know why you want to work with us. We're always looking for talent, always looking for help. And also there's pictures of coverage and pictures and footage of coverage that we've done throughout time at Sideline Sports. Of course, there's going to be more to be uploaded because there's a 6-year history. But check out our website, and also if you want to subscribe to get notifications of new articles or any new material that's been put up on the website. So once again, that is sideline-se.com. With that being said, you can follow us on all of our platforms. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or X, Instagram, and also we are at Sideline Sport 1 on TikTok. Before we get started, Sean, how you doing today, man?
Everything's going good, man. Looking forward to Raw tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that being said, put this down something. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to go into our WWE Raw preview for February the 16th of 2026, being today, of course. So, two matches on the horizon. Of course, every show's full of surprises. But as far as the pre-scheduled matches, so we do have an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Bayley, Asuka, and Natty will all go at it for a spot at Elimination Chamber Chicago. Sean, your thoughts about this match and who's going to take it?
I could see Natty definitely taking this, especially I think kind of like the match with Maxine. It's kind of early for Natty's heel run for her to take a loss here. She can take it in the Elimination Chamber because there's tons of ways to cover that up. But I think taking a loss here, hurts the heel run too early. And I think there will be more confusion with Asuka and Kairi Sane, which I think eventually leads to a match with them at WrestleMania. And Bayley will just kind of get, she'll probably hit the move on Asuka and get thrown off of Asuka, and Natty steals the win.
Yeah, you know what? I was going to go with Bayley for this one, but considering that this may be one final resurgence of Natalya, I could see Natty winning this one. I wouldn't expect her to win Elimination Chamber, but I do see her actually winning this one, her stealing the win. Now, also at the same time, I'm going to make a prediction. If Natalya does not win, if Natty does not win tonight, it'll be because of Maxine Dupree. Maxine 100%. Dupree will somehow cost her the win.
100%, and set up a blow-off match with them at Elimination Chamber instead. But I think we're seeing kind of not to get too much off subject, we're seeing a changing of the guard here between AJ is gone, Randy we know is wrapping up soon, Natty is probably on, like you said, one of her last runs, Brock Lesnar. I mean, the list of people that we're used to seeing on TV is going to drastically change here over the next 2 to 3 years.
Yes, absolutely. We're seeing a changing of the guard in real time. Shout out Mike Dooley. How you doing, brother? Thanks for tuning in. With that being said, let's move on to the men's side. Elimination Chamber qualifying match. We've got Gunther, the ring general, going up against the hot upstart Javon Evans and the Intercontinental Champion Dom Mysterio. Oh, this is actually low-key a tough one. Who do you see coming out on top on this one?
Yeah, this is definitely a tough one. I don't know, maybe we get one of our Road to Mania surprises in terms of why Gunther loses this match. But if not, I don't see how you can have him lose this match. Again, kind of like Natty, you can cover up a loss of his in the chamber. But it's hard to see him not winning this match unless, Judgment Day is seriously involved and it just, somehow Dom steals it via, like Eddie Guerrero would.
Yeah. I actually am going to pick Gunther to win this match. However, even though he would be my favorite to win the chamber match, I don't see him winning it because I don't see as entertaining as it would be to me. To me, I just don't see WWE setting up a heel versus heel world title match at WrestleMania. Maybe on another
No.
PLE, but not at WrestleMania.
No, and the way they're going, it looks like maybe even the triple threat is off, and we're gonna go maybe Sammy somehow slips back into the chamber, and it's Sammy and Drew and Rhodes and Fatu get their one-on-one match because that scenario is becoming messy, and it doesn't look like Fatu or Rhodes is gonna walk away getting towards McIntyre.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The only way that I could see Gunther going to Mania is for the what you had just said. If somehow Sami Zayn worms his way into the match at Mania, makes it a three-way dance, so now you have heel face.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be some sort of Sami Zayn involvement in this based on what we're seeing with his story, especially how close he got last week winning the qualifying match. But they've really left it open on that side in terms of like who's really going to face McIntyre at this point. It looked like Rhodes and Fatu for the longest, but now it's definitely cloudy. And if Gunther wins tonight, I mean, it gets even more cloudy.
Yes, indeed. Now, moving on to our next topic here, and that is on the Women's Royal Rumble winner, Liv Morgan. Will Liv Morgan make her choice tonight? My humble opinion, if not tonight, it has to be next week, because at some point you got to start building up for WrestleMania. You got to start building this thing up, and this is the writer's chance to really set this thing ablaze and have a fire match going into potentially a fire match at WrestleMania. But I mean, as of right now, I mean, it's either going to be Stephanie Vaquer or it's going to be Jade Cargill. Excuse me, Jade Cargill. So, do you think she makes her choice tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I would be surprised that they let her not make it going into the chamber. That way, we know which belt the women's winner is coming out and going after. Obviously, I think she's going to pick Stephanie at the end of the day. But I think either tonight or next Monday, right before the chamber. That way, like I said, at least we know the winner of the chambers, who their opponent is, just like we know on the men's side, the winner gets to go on and face McIntyre.
Right, absolutely. I mean, because like I said, with something like this, at some point, you have to start. Now, I know WrestleMania is, 2 months away, right? Because it's in late April.
Yep.
But you have to start building up for this thing here shortly, I don't think it's too soon to me. But also, you don't want to drag out the whole who's she going to face, you know what I'm saying?
No, and I think you want to make it, especially, it's the women's world title match. You want to make these world titles, gain value. And I think doing the 8-week build-up is a lot better and is a lot more satisfactory of a payoff, versus having her choose someone after the Elimination Chamber. And you've got, maybe 4.5, 5 weeks, depending, how they focus Raw during those weeks. And you've already got Roman announced for like 6 straight Raws. So we kind of know how that's going to go. So that the decision needs to come soon, just to build that title up. And like we kind of talked about last week, I really hope they stop doing so many defenses so that title can gain some weight.
Right. Indeed. At some point in time, you kind of got to put a chill on the defenses. I know we had the whole CM Punk defending against Finn Balor and everything like that. Well, I mean, at some point, we got to start, and it's been happening, with Reigns versus Punk, put Punk in matches, but don't put the belt on the line, okay? That's reserved for Roman Reigns. So, I mean, that is what it is. But we're going to transition into our part of the show. Sean Russey's Enter the Vault. So, start us off with this one. On this day in history, what was it, 97? Yeah, yep. So 29 years ago. This day in history, 29 years ago. Oh.
Yeah, so China debuts on this day 29 years ago, actually attacks Marlena, who is ringside, not really involved at this point, but attacks Marlena during HHH and Goldust's match. And it's one of the underrated rivalries from Triple H, to be honest with you, because he's still in his older character here. They're kind of working him towards the DX guy. They've gotten rid of the robe a little bit, and he's in black tights now. and they've gotten rid of the bow and stuff, but he's still got the ponytail, so he's still in the transitioning to the DX Triple H here. But the real mark is China makes her debut. And just seeing her, she looked different than any other woman on the roster at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember actually an interview in which Vince McMahon initially was not for it at all. At all. He was like, whoa, a woman attacking men? No. But then just like you look at China and it's kind of believable. Not sitting here saying that she would manhandle them like she did Marlena on the night that we're talking about. But this was something that transcended into the Attitude Era quite nicely, in my opinion. Because if you're going to have the men have some attitude, why not the women? And China definitely became a front runner as far as the women go for the Attitude Era. But it all started with this night right here. And I mean, like, it's crazy because you look at that footage and Marlena literally looked like a rag doll, man. It was crazy. I was like, is that a mannequin? It's like, no, that really was Marlena. You know what I mean? So
knowing they really wanted to make sure it was, knowing that Triple H was, really a bad heel, a full heel. So they put that heater on him, and because obviously the idea is DX was going to be a heel group, but kind of like those groups always go, and we've seen it with the NWO, the Bloodline. Eventually, the fans start cheering for those groups.
Yes, exactly.
But they wanted to start that group as a full-fledged heel
next
group.
One, oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, man. The sound cut out, man. I thought it was okay. So let's see where we at. Okay, on this day in 1999.
Yeah, so this day in 1999, we have our second ever Inferno match, and it's between the same guys who had the first ever Inferno match, which was Undertaker and Kane. Public Enemy also made their debut on this Raw, actually debuting by defeating Edge and Gangrel, which is pretty notable at the time. More notes even later on that, because Public Enemy would walk out 6 weeks after debuting, leaving that rivalry kind of up in the air and unfinished, and kind of leaving the tag team division in a little bit of a mess because they were obviously going to be pushed towards the titles right away as they debuted.
Yeah, and also with that being said, I remember, because this wasn't the only match that they had in WWE.
No.
Jacob Christner had tagged me in one where they got manhandled by the Acolytes. Now, mind you, this was the Ministry of Darkness. They were just kind of getting their names out there as a faction. Like, whoa, the Undertaker leading a faction, man? What's going on here? And it was a hardcore match. It was so crazy, man. And they just got manhandled. Now, this is Public Enemy coming from ECW, where hardcore matches are their specialty. They went to WCW, where every match was, hardcore pretty much. They come to WWE, and some guys who aren't known for being in hardcore matches just completely decimated them.
Yeah, Bradshaw and Farouk kind of tell the story behind the scenes where Public Enemy kind of did something that, kind of broke behind the stage rules. They wouldn't, hit the spots for the Acolytes, but they wanted to hit all their table spots, and Farouk and Bradshaw were kind of just like, no, like, okay, we're just going to lay it into them. And ironically, 2 weeks later, they left the company.
Yeah. Well, I mean, such a shame. At the time period, Public Enemy still had a whole lot left in them. But we'll go on to our last one here, and that is No Way Out of 2004. Eddie Guerrero stunned Brock Lesnar to win the WWE Championship, making him an official Grand Slam champion. On the same night, earlier that night, his nephew defeated Rey Mysterio for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah, big night for the Guerreros here. I don't think anybody expected Eddie to win. I think they expected at least, a couple teases and even, obviously Eddie's tomfoolery in there. But I think everybody expected Brock to overcome most of it, especially since we had just come off really defeating The Rock in the big show, and we're early in Brock's, young run here. But it was a stunning victory, and nothing, Guerrero was still way over. Even that, I think this was a year removed from his Mania title. He was way over still with the fans, and in San Francisco, it's like a home crowd for even the three of them: Chavo, Eddie, and Rey Mysterio. And then, like you said earlier in the night, Chavo went over Rey Mysterio. It was a big night for the Guerrero family.
Yeah, huge night, most definitely. I know. I went into this match thinking like, okay, so he's gonna He's going to make it a match, but ultimately we're going to see Brock Lesnar walking in Mania with the title. And
I think Brock had just defeated Kurt Angle, correct? Right before the pay-per-view before this match.
Actually, the pay-per-view before this match, I think that was actually Lesnar. No, it was Lesnar versus Hardcore Holly. It was supposed to be the revenge match.
Yep.
Yeah. He defended the WWE title against Hardcore Holly. So I mean, Brock was going on his usual kill streak. You know what I mean? And then Eddie comes out of nowhere and just shocks the world. Awesome. Still the only match to this day that actually brought a tear to my eye. So yeah. What a night for the girls indeed. And we are about 3 minutes away from Raw. So thank everybody for joining in tonight rather. Enjoy Monday Night Raw, and we will see you next week. Also, remember, sideline-se.com, our brand new website. Go check it out. Follow us on all our socials, and we will see you all next week for more Top Rope Talk. Later.